Hello everyone. In this lecture today we will start the second unit of this course, purification of water. So basically we have to study this chapter for the purification and the supply of pure water or palatable water and drinking water to the consumers. So we have to have a glance with respect to examination. So this chapter having weightage of 18 marks for your end semester examination, right? And it is major portion which covers the section 1 of this paper, right? Then what course outcome do we study in this chapters are draw the level flow diagram for the process of water treatment and wastewater, then estimate the quantity of drinking water and water generated, and last one, identify the various accessories for the efficient conveyance and distribution of water, right? These are the major three outcomes of this course unit. What are those? We will learn to draw the flow chart or flow diagram for the water purification process, then estimation of the quantity of drinking water for the supply, and last one, the accessories which required while supplying the waters to the consumer. Then first of all we will study the water treatment processes. What are the water treatment processes which we perform on the waters before supplying it are screening, aeration, sedimentation, coagulation, clariflocculators, sedimentation or coagulation using clariflocculators, then filtration. In that we will study the rapid sand filter and gravity sand filter, and last one, disinfection. Again we will study the miscellaneous water treatment process in this chapter, which consists of the water softening process and defluoridation technique, and last one, advanced water treatment process, which consists of electrolysis and reverse osmosis. Now we had studied the flow diagram for the water treatment process, but we will look it again. So first of all we will collect the water from source, then this water will pass through the screen bars which are known as screening. Why we have to do the screening? Because the floating matter which consists in water, to separate that floating matter we use screening process. How it is done we will look in the next slide. Then aeration will improve the oxygen in the water, kills the pathogenic bacteria in the water, and helps in the purification of the water. Then coagulant dose, we have to add these doses because to settle down the non-dissolving particles or colloidal particles in the water, to segregate it we have to add the coagulant dose. Then we have to pass this water in sedimentation tank. Due to the self weight and gravity force, the heavy particles get settled down at the bottom and will be separated out from the water. Then filtration, this water will pass through the filters such as rapid sand filter and gravity sand filter. In this, pathogenic bacteria as well as non-dissolving or lightweight particles or finer particles will also separate out. Then disinfection, after the removing of colloidal and dissolved or suspended particle, we have to kill the pathogenic bacteria or harmful viruses. So we have to use this disinfection process. Then water is supplied to the elevated service reservoir. It is nothing but त्याला तुम्ही मराठीत पाण्याची टाकी म्हणता, right? We have to supply this water to the elevated service reservoir. Then through the conveyance system or distribution system, म्हणजे पाणी पुरवठा जी काही यंत्रणा तुम्ही तयार केलेली आहे, उभी केलेली आहे, त्याच्या थ्रू वी विल सप्लाय इट टू द कन्झ्युमर. सो once again have a look, or we will revise it. We will collect the water from source, then pass it to the through the screen bars, then we will pass it to the aeration tank where water is dissolved in water and pathogenic bacteria or oxygen in the water will improve. Then we will add the coagulant dose. Then this coagulant dose will helps in the sedimentation process. Then this water will pass through the filtration tank where dissolved particles will dissolve, and then disinfection of the water will perform, is also known as disinfection. And this disinfected water we will supply to the elevated service reservoir where it will distribute the water through the conveyance system to the consumer, right? Here is table which shows the processes and impurities removed in that processes. First one, screening bar. Here floating matter what will screening will perform will remove the floating matter provided at intake of source. We will provide it at intake of source. Then aeration, it will dissolve the oxygen and helps to remove the impurities such as harmful gases like CO2, H2S, and objectionable odor and taste. It also improve the odor and taste. पाण्याची चव आणि त्याचा येणारा वास, ह्या दोन्ही गोष्टी इम्प्रूव्ह केल्या जातील एरिएशनमध्ये. देन सेडिमेंटेशन प्रोसेस. What will sedimentation process will perform? It will remove settlable suspended impurities. Write down this word in your notebook. It will remove settlable suspended impurities like clay, silt, which are heavier than water, right? Then coagulation. Remove the colloidal and very fine silt and clay particles, some bacteria also. Filtration. Colloidal and very fine silt and clay particles, also microorganism will removed in this process, right? Then disinfection. Harmful pathogens and bacteria and other impurities will removed in this process. So write down this table and that flow diagram in your notebook. So this is diagram of screen bars, right? The arrow shows the location of screen bar, and V, it means the direction of water flow. Water will flow through the screens and pass to the next treatment unit, राईट. म्हणजे हे जे स्क्रीन बार लावलेले आहेत, तो जो निळा ॲरो दाखवतोय तो स्क्रीन बार आहे. त्याच्यानंतर पाणी पुढं एरिएशन टँककडे जातं. हा टॉप व्ह्यू आहे त्या प्रोसेसचा. त्याच्यात तुम्हाला जो निळा ॲरो दाखवलेला आहे तो दाखवतो स्क्रीन बार, आणि त्याच्यानंतरचे जे डॉटेड लाईन्स आहेत त्या दाखवतात थ्रू विथ द पर्क्युरेशन. म्हणजे जे पार्टिकल्स वरती येतात किंवा स्क्रीनमधून फिल्टर्ड होत नाही ते कदाचित ह्या फिल्ट्रेशनमधून फिल्टर होतात. हे टॉप व्ह्यू आहे, आणि हा जो मागच्या साईडला आलेला होता हा साईड व्ह्यू आहे, राईट. त्याच्यानंतर स्क्रीनिंग का करायची, or what is the objective or importance of the screening. Water obtained from various sources mostly contains suspended as well as floating impurities. Floating matters include majorly leaves of tree, sticks, degradable and non-degradable waste such as plastic and paper. So what it will perform screening will remove all suspended as well as floating impurities, right, such as leaf, sticks, degradable and non-degradable waste such as plastic and paper. To remove the floating matter, we will use majorly two types of screen bars, which are coarser screen bar and finer screen bar, right? And now next, aeration. After the screening process, water will pass through the aeration unit. This is a process where water brings in contact with water, right? Water will bring into the contact with air, right? By mistakenly it was typed that water brings in contact with water, so make it correct. water brings in contact with air. Right? Objectives of aeration: to remove the hydrogen sulfide, remove the gases formed by organic decomposition, remove the carbon dioxide up to 70%. It means aeration will remove the carbon dioxide up to 70%, and again it increase the oxygen content. Advantages of aeration: this method is very simple and requires simply equipment with no moving part, no skilled labor required for the operation, no chemicals required for the process, and it is economical. So these are the advantages. This method is very simple, no skilled labor is required, no chemical is required, and it is economical too. Now we will study the type of aeration in next slide. If anybody is having any problem, please do ask in comment section. Thank you.